AI in public sector. 5.1.1 Understand the risks of introducing AI system in public domain. So public decision making, crime prosecution, and elections. So in this we have created a table to ensure how the AI and the respective risk factor can be aligned based on the public decision making, based on the law enforcement and the crime prosecution, and how it can be looked upon from the perspective of elections. So let's look at the risk factors. So the first risk of transparency and explainability, it basically ensures that whenever you are working on transparency and explainability, it makes sure your public decision making is made effective. So the risk of biases and discrimination. So whenever you work on the risks of biases and discrimination, it makes sure your public decision making get enabled in a faster manner. So it also ensures that you work out to have better law enforcement, and you will be able to work on the crime prosecution as well. The risk factor of human oversights and accountability. So if you work on these risk factor, it helps you to have better decision making for public, and it also ensures you to have a better law enforcement and the crime prosecution. Biometric identification risk. So this risk is more pertaining to the law enforcement and how you can basically manage any kind of criminal prosecution. Automated profiling risk. So this is more pertaining to the law enforcement or crime prosecution. AI generated disinformation risks. So this risk is more pertaining to the risks when we consider the elections. In the case of elections, you can always think of generating AI set of disinformation which can be used by various political parties in their favor. So this is a prominent risk whenever you are referring to the elections in the system. Manipulations of democratic processes. This is a big risk whenever you are referring, and this can be pertaining to the election systems. The last risk pertaining for AI factors is your election cybersecurity. So this can be a great cause of concern in the case of elections. Analyze the impact of AI Act on different stakeholders, financial and insurance companies. Key areas of impact on finance and insurance. So for credit scoring and credit worthiness assessment, AI-driven credit assessments are high risk under Annexure 3.5b of AI Act. So the risk includes potential discrimination, lack of explainability, and unfair exclusion from the financial services. So however, your AI system used solely for financial frauds should not be classified as a high risk. The risk assessment and insurance pricing AI model used in life and health insurance for risk assessment and pricing are high risk, so as they can basically determine the financial inclusion or exclusion. So your insurers must implement the transparent AI models, which should ensure the automated decision do not lead to discrimination or any unfair policy pricing. Biometric data and emotional recognition. So your AI systems categorizing your biometric data such as inferring your health risk, lifestyle habits, these are prohibited under the Article 5(1)(g) of the AI Act. So your emotional recognition in workplaces or customer interactions is also prohibited. So the Fundamental Rights Impact Assessment, FRIA. So deployers of high-risk AI systems such as banks and insurers using your AI for credit or risk assessment must conduct a Fundamental Rights Impact Assessment, FRIA. So the FRIA should ensure AI use does not violate the privacy, fairness, or non-discriminatory principles. So this is how we have discussed the various AI use cases in finance and insurance sector with the kind of level of impact it generates and how these are classified as a regulatory concerns. So there can be exam questions being asked from this table. So you need to be remembering and making sure that whether these category of risks or use cases are of high risk or what is the potential level of impact. So analyzing the impact of AI Act on different stakeholders in the case of healthcare. So key areas of impact on healthcare. So AI in medical diagnosis and treatment. So high risk classification. So AI driven medical diagnostic tools such as radiology, skin cancer detection, these all fall under high risk AI as defined in Annexure 1, number 11 of AI Act. Regulatory compliance. So provider of AI diagnostic tools must undergo confirmatory assessments to ensure accuracy, reliability, and explainability. So AI in hospitals and patient monitoring. So your AI supporting real-time patient monitoring in hospitals. Examples: ICU data analysis, surgical assistant robots. So these must comply with the strict transparency and risk management requirements. Your human oversight obligations. So your deployers, such as hospitals or healthcare providers, must ensure that AI recommendations are reviewed by human professionals before making ethical medical decisions. So AI in administrative healthcare. So non-clinical AI. So AI-driven hospital management system, scheduling, and resource optimization are not classified as high risk, but must still comply with the data governance and security standards. Ethical concerns. AI chatbots which are used in patient interaction must ensure accurate and non-misleading information. Prohibited AI application in healthcare. So your emotional recognition AI for workplace, hospital, or patient interaction is prohibited under Article 51G of AI Act. Real-time biometric identification (RBI). So RBI in hospitals is highly restricted except for the security or medical purposes. Fundamental Rights Impact Assessment (FRIA). So deployers of high-risk AI in healthcare, hospitals, medical institutions must conduct a fundamental rights impact assessment (FRIA) before deploying any AI. So there has to be regular AI system audit which should be performed to ensure continued compliance with healthcare regulation and patient rights. Analyze the importance of AI Act on different stakeholders, employment and education. So the key areas of impact on employment and education. So AI in employment and HR systems. So high risk classification. So AI used in recruitment, job selection, promotions, and dismissals is classified as high risk under Annexure 3.4. Employee monitoring. The AI-based performance tracking and behavioral monitoring tool must comply with the transparency and data protection rules. Bias prevention. So employers must ensure that AI-driven hiring systems do not reinforce discrimination based on the gender, ethnicity, or disability. AI in education and student assessment. So AI systems used for admissions, grading, student evaluations, and personalized learning are classified as high risk under Annexure 3.3. AI monitoring students during exam, such as AI proctoring tools, must also adhere to the strict data protection and non-discriminatory standards. So, adaptive learning and AI tutors. Your AI systems that adjust the teaching content based on the student performance must comply with transparency and human oversight requirements. Fundamental rights and transparency obligations. So, employment AI systems must undergo a fundamental right impact assessment (FRIA) to evaluate the risk to fairness, privacy, and discrimination. Education institutions using high-risk AI must ensure explainability of AI decisions and provide the mechanisms for human interventions and appeal.